Today I'm proud to be making my first trip to Indian country as President of the United States.
We have some kind of gas. People are being pepper sprayed. What are you spraying people with?
I haven't sprayed anything.
But what is that?
The guy just placed me in the face right now.
Dogs. Why are you letting their dog go after the government is covered in blood?
It's really important for us to remember our history. Unless you're one of the first Americans, a Native American, you came from someplace else. Somebody brought you.
Hey, so here we are at Standing Rock, and just arrived. This is the main camp. The Dakota Access Pipeline protests are off to the left. You know, people are staying here. There's several camps where people have come to just occupy this land, this sacred land that's been guaranteed to this people group, and is now being encroached upon. As you can see, there's many flags flying here. I've already met people from all over the world that have just flown in, drove in. There's people riding bikes in. The world is flocking to this spot right now. Despite it being cold weather, which we want. We want cold weather because the cold weather will freeze the ground. It will also slow the pipeline development process.
Yes, I'm talking about you.
There's a prayer circle off to my right. I'm not going to video that, though, because it's a sacred spot. They've asked that we don't video some sacred spot, so we're not going to be videoing the prayer circle right now, but maybe we can a little bit later. I've had the opportunity. I'm here with one of our sister servants, Chelsea. She's working in the information booth, and a lot of the volunteers here need some supplies. She's going to tell us what they need.
Right now, we really need sleeping bags and blankets. We have a lot of people coming by needing warmer supplies, and we don't have any left. We don't have any tents left, so we need more tents for people to stay in. Unless you want to bring bigger winter structures, which would be very helpful. We also need chapstick. There's a lot of dry, cracked, bleeding lips at the moment, so we've totally run out of that. And anything you can send that is building supplies, like rope, duct tape, tarps, all of that is incredibly helpful as we try to winterize summer tents to make people livable for this cold weather that's coming.
So you're not going, even though it's getting cold?
No, we're not going. I put some tarps on my beach tent and we're staying.
So that's the message. The people are staying. We're not gonna be leaving.
Rhonda.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going out there? Morning, guys. This is a little creativity with iPads. First thing I want to do is get into a little bit of stuff over here. Was that so intense for you guys? All right. All right. Pretty cool, huh? Good morning, guys. What was that one? You guys want to see that one, huh?
Tools are what.
All right. There you go. Check this one out, guys.
From flying over Standing Rock, where protesters are, of course, protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline. Now, why would they want to ban access pipeline? Now, why would they want to ban drones specifically? Why are authorities concerned about that? Well, the drones have shown footage of what's really happening, of the construction that's taking place overnight when it's not supposed to be taking place, of the law enforcement officials using brutality against the protesters as they stand there peacefully. Of course, there was footage of the water cannons being used, and the big argument that law enforcement used was, hey, you know, they were posing a threat to us, so we had to protect ourselves. But of course, the survey
Posing a threat to them. But yet they had all the tanks and the guns and the riot gear and the shotguns. All we had was a drone. God, those drones are powerful. They're that scared of them.
Surveillance showed the exact opposite of that. Now, according to the FAA, they will be banning all aircraft except those flying in support of law enforcement. Also, the FAA...
And those are supportive of the protectors too as well.
It will make exceptions for journalists as long as they get special approval beforehand.
So let's talk about that because that's important. So Anna's right. The reason that they want to ban this is because, for example, in one of our videos, we showed how close the drilling pad was to the water. Now, they weren't supposed to be that close to the water because next to the water is Army Corps land and not the land that they have or have permission to build or drill on. So that is very inconvenient for them. Now, I'm talking about the company, but the state of North Dakota has decided that they just work for the company. They're the company's Pinkertons. So they're saying, okay, how can we help you? We already sent in an army of soldiers, in essence, the way that they're dressed and the tanks, etc. And now, okay, we'll do your further bidding and we'll crush any kind of journalism. Our videos alone, let alone anybody else's, have gotten tens of millions of views.
Yes.
So now you know exactly where the drilling pad is, and it's inconvenient for them to say that they're following the law when we can show the opposite.
Exactly.
So the reason why that statement that they can, well, journalists, no, sure, they can get approval beforehand is important is, number one, they're going to give approval to state-friendly journalists and not going to
state-friendly journalists. Mm-hmm.
Give approval to people who are actually reporting things that they make them uncomfortable. So CNN, you want to come in here and tell us that the protesters are violent? Just because that's a press release we gave you?
I remember CNN was trying to run me down for 3 days. Trying to get a good story out of me, but I said no. Never saw them after that.
Come on in, okay?
Yep.
That's fine. You are on the pre-approved list. But people doing real journalism, you're on the blacklist. It's the Trump era. You're done. Second problematic issue there is, if they are going to, for all journalists, if they're about to have the cops move in to evacuate the encampment, they're not going to give anybody approval to fly drones on that day. And they're going to say, oh, no, it was a cold day, it was this, it was night, it was that. But nobody got pre-approval that day on the day that we did all of our violent actions. Mm-hmm. And so...
What about that day there was no fly zone, but then we went out there and there was a whole bunch of drones and helicopters flying all over the place? What about that day? Oh, he's not saying nothing.
That's how they kill journalists.
That's exactly right. And so we'll see how it goes. But interestingly enough, there is a day when this ban is going to lift. And my prediction is they're going to do everything they can. And when I say they, I mean those behind, behind Apple and those behind the authorities are going to do everything they can to get the protesters out of there before this ban lifts. Drone videographers are not allowed to collect aerial video of the ongoing protest.
I think we got maybe about 3, 4, or 5 months worth of footage
At the campsite until December 2nd when the ban lifts. So it's interesting to see what happens between now and then. Also, this is the second temporary flight restriction the FAA has placed over the area. The first was in late October in response to local law enforcement complaining that a drone pilot, quote, flew at a helicopter in a threatening manner.
That is a total lie there. Total lie. Like I was saying earlier, guys, that I studied those helicopters. Every time we got close to them, I always went closer to the ground, to lower, and I always stated that here they come. Watch, here comes those helicopters. They're getting on the radio. They know they're coming, so they're gonna purposely fly over here towards the drone, and that they're gonna use that for their excuse. All the time, never fails.
I mean, come on.
Okay.
A drone flew at a helicopter in a threatening manner. Okay.
You go, girl.
So here's what's actually threatening to them. One of the drones, for example, showed...
Speaking of prolific, that's a bunch of crap too, what they're doing to them. But we are going to gather all the drone footage and everybody who was there that day, and we're going to prove them wrong.
That, they claim, oh, the protesters are setting the fires, or they're doing this or that. And the drone showed the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. And so when the drone footage disproved what the police were saying, they're like, that is so inconvenient. Mm-hmm. We got to round up these drones. So this should be unacceptable in America.
You could go ahead and ask the law enforcement. They probably have about 4, 5, 6 of them back there just stored, so you can ask them.
If a third world country did this, where they said, oh, only pre-approved journalists are allowed to tape public land, right? Or private land, or federal land. Now, remember, the important part is the Army Corps of Engineers land that's on federal property, okay? And the state of North Dakota, or in this case, the FAA comes in and goes, no, we don't want you stinking journalists in here, especially when we're about to do stuff. We'd say, what a banana republic. Mm-hmm. Look at that. You see that? Putin doesn't allow journalists. In the old days, Chavez, Castro, they don't allow journalists, right? And here, we ban journalism, and nobody notices.
Nobody notices, exactly. And I think the reason why they don't notice is because a lot of people are distracted by a lot of nonsense, right?
It's called they're distracted by a whole lot of lies. It just covers the whole planet.
And the mainstream media hasn't been covering this at all. And if they ever do, the one time I was watching
If they ever.
CNN, they referred to the protesters as rioting.
Oh,
They did not.
unbearable.
I know there has been no rioting, okay, but that's the way that they've described it.
There's so much you get with Young Turks membership. You get the full 2-hour
Go Young Turks. Jordan.
show, the Young Turks, every single day. It's commercial free. You get Aggressive Progressives. You get all the other network shows that we put together. What else? Post games, right? And other things. And hugs and kisses and rainbows.
Yes, blind the world with hugs and kisses and rainbows. Keep saying that.
You know what?
Somebody go get a six-pack.
Let's all enjoy.
Yes. Go get a 6-pack. I think you might need one.
Membership together. tytnetwork.com/join.
Ooh, my favorite one right here. We're just reviewing drone
Hey, it's Jordan with 2YT Politics. I am here on a beautiful, beautiful sunny Saturday at the Standing Rock Tribes camp. And as you can see, it's packed behind me. Tents, people joining, singing, praying. Weekends are very full here. And from what I've heard, it's actually one of the most busy filled weekends in several weeks. So that's positive news. And I'm here with Dean, who's one of the...
Hey, I'm the one behind the camera. There's another Dean. What the hell?
Lead drone operators here. A lot of people don't recognize...
That guy looks like me.
That the drones are on the front lines too. They're operated by humans, but they are what's getting out a lot of the information. Tell me how long you've been here and some of the information people would want to know about how frequently you guys are putting up drones and what obstacles you're facing.
I've been here and doing this drone, covering this with the... They always mess my name up. I swear. I'll let you go, Jordan. Drone before this all got big and major, national and worldwide, since last February, March. And I've been covering it since. It started out with just, the awareness runs and, the meetings and the horse runs, and the first week in August when the first, dig site was happening, I was pretty much the only drone operator, and I decided to cover it with the drone. And after that, it was my heartfelt life mission to continue to do this with the drone, and it's never been done before, and I started knowing that. That's when they had a little baby for it. Look at that. That's how scared they were. There's a lot of useful, things and advantages we can have with drone technology, and I started taking it to the limit. Yes, drone technology. We took it to the limit, all right. Pretty much brought the eyes to this little river. And I've pretty much gone beyond the limits and beyond any kind of, flight, just to get what people want, and that's the truth, and exposing the truth. And there's no audio on drone videos. There's only just the image, but all it takes is the image and what you capture, and it speaks. I've never got those drones. Never got any drones that someone sent them. It's like that was just one big joke. The truth. It doesn't even speak. It shows the truth. So.
The other day, it was your drone that helped me get out to the world how close that drill pad is to the Missouri River. What's the response? Because you have state police, but you also have the private Dakota Access Pipeline Company, who has their own helicopters, their own police going around. I'm pretty much aware that they will shoot, but after they first shot the first drone 10 times, but... Yeah, the shotgun. They were all anti that day. That was my favorite day of all right here. This guy was really determined to get the drone, man, but he had one.
Looked like he was just sitting there. Looked like he already ate. No, he's good. He's good. The guy's sitting there chilling too. He's back there just looking, just relaxing. They were probably having a meeting here. Like, should we just shoot him? Should we just shoot that drone? It's like a fly. We need to get rid of him. So this is like it was the fun day here. All right, so,
Missed them all.
There you go. Look at that. Martin County's finest.
You know, it doesn't mean they're not going to shoot it again. They did.
Now remember, guys, when I step with law enforcement, it's just all in fun and jokes. We're just having fun.
Admit that they did shoot the drone, but
this guy here, though, I feel for him because I think he's one of those tiger swan. Yeah. Pretty clumsy for a tiger swan guy.
Doesn't mean that you're going to shoot it again. You always got to be cautious and aware, and like all times we fly with safety first, and it's just all about getting that shot, you know. And this is in time of what the people of America and people in the world really need to see is the visual imagery of this destruction of the land, and the only way to capture that is using a drone. That's why this drone technology has brought this movement and allowed this movement to keep fighting, along with prayer and singing and the people gathering together. And the drone footage is...
The drones just took it to the next level. That's why everybody came here, man. Everybody came here.
Or also what a lot of these people came because of the drone footage. They've seen the